Welcome to the Library of Awakening, hosted by CyberX, a space where curiosity meets courage and ideas come alive. Here we explore the thoughts that challenge, inspire, and sometimes even unsettle us, because growth often begins with discomfort. I know some of the perspectives that I share may be as challenging for you as they once were for me. But isn't that the beauty of exploration? Every perspective, no matter how unconventional, has something valuable to contribute to it if it's shared. Knowledge is not absolute, it's a living, breathing phenomena, shaped and reshaped over time. The important thing is not always be right, but to always be curious. Explore freely, share boldly, and learn deeply. And don't rely solely on others to validate your discoveries. Stand firm in integrity, even in the face of criticism. Remember that growth always means embracing the humility to admit when we're wrong. Learning from our errors is not a setback, it's the very essence of our progress. So, welcome to the journey. May this space inspire you to ask questions, explore the unknown, and most importantly, to awaken. This is the Library of Awakening. Let's begin. Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of A Library of Awakening. In today's episode, we are going to be diving into one of my most favorite books called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This book, in the particular chapter that we're going to dive into today, discusses and talks about how success in any endeavor results from directed thought and mental effort. The chapter that we're going to specifically focus on today is chapter 6, or actually, as a matter of fact, it's going to be chapter 5. And it emphasizes that victories are attained through perseverance, sacrifice, and maintaining a positive, purpose driven mindset, even amid setbacks. It also mentions that mental strength and self control are vital to maintaining success and avoiding things like a destructive emotional thought process, things like doubt, fear, which are all enemies of rational decision making. So, we're going to head over to the CyberX Discord in the private monthly section. We're going to tap into the third eye psychology section. Shout out to the CyberX researchers for this PDF here. And we are going to dive into this one today. So, chapter 5 from As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, titled The Thought Factor in Achievement, starts by saying, all that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thoughts. In a justly ordered universe where loss of equipoise would McCain total destruction, individual responsibility must be absolute. A man's weakness and strength, purity and impurity are his own, and not another man's. They are brought by himself and not by another, and they can only be altered by himself, never by another. His condition is also his own, and not another man's. His suffering and his happiness are evolved from within. As he thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains. A strong man cannot help a weaker unless the weaker is willing to be helped. And even the weak man must become strong of himself. He must by his own efforts develop the strength which he admires in another. None but himself can alter his condition. It has been usual for men to think and to say, many men are slaves because one is an oppressor. Let us hate the oppressor. Now, however, there is amongst an increasing few tendency to reverse this judgment and to say, one man is an oppressor because many are slaves. Let us despise the slaves. The truth is that the oppressor and the slave are cooperators in ignorance, and while seeming to afflict each other, are in reality afflicting themselves. A perfect knowledge perceives the action of law in the weakness of the oppressed and the misapplied power of the oppressor. A perfect love, seeing the suffering, which both states entail, condemns neither. A perfect compassion embraces both oppressor and the oppressed. He who has conquered weakness and has put away all selfish thoughts belongs neither to the oppressor nor the oppressed. He is free. A man can only rise, conquer, and achieve by lifting up his thoughts. He can only remain weak and abject and miserable by refusing to lift up his thoughts. Before a man can achieve anything, even in worldly things, he must lift his thoughts above slavish animal indulgence. He may not, in order to succeed, give up all animality and selfishness by any means, but a portion of it must at least be sacrificed. A man whose first thought is bestial in indulgence could neither think clear nor plan methodically. He could not find any develop his latent resources and would fail in any undertaking. Not having commenced to manfully control his thoughts, he is not in a position to control affairs and to adapt serious responsibilities. He is not in a position to control affairs and to adopt serious responsibilities. He is not fit to act independently and stand alone, but he is limited only by the thoughts which he chooses. There can be no progress, no achievement without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be in the measure that he sacrifices his confused animal thoughts and fixes his mind on the development of his plans and the strengthening of his resolution and self-reliance. And the higher he lifts his thoughts, the more manly, upright, and righteous he becomes, the greater will be his success, the more blessed and enduring will be his achievements. The universe does not favor the greedy, the dishonest, the vicious. Although on a mere surface it may sometimes appear to do so, it helps the honest and the magnanimous, the virtuous. All the great teachers of the ages have declared this in varying forms, and to prove and know it, a man has but to persist in making himself more and more virtuous by lifting up his thoughts. Intellectual achievements are the result of thought concentrated to the search for knowledge, or for the beautiful and true in life and nature. Success in such achievements may be sometimes connected with the vanity and ambition, but they are not the outcome of those characteristics. They are the natural outgrowth of long and arduous effort and of pure and unselfish thoughts. Spiritual achievements are the consumption of holy aspirations. He who lives constantly in the conception of noble and lofty thoughts, who dwells upon all that is pure and unselfish, will, as surely as the sun reaches its zenith and the moon its full, become wise and noble in character, and rise into a position of influence and blessedness. Achievement of whatever kind is the crown of effort, the diadem of thought. By the aid of self-control, resolution, purity, righteousness, and well-directed thought, a man transcends by the aid of animality and indolence, impurity, corruption, and confusion of thought. A man descends. A man may rise to high success in the world and even to lofty altitudes in the spiritual realm, and again descend into weakness and wretchedness by allowing arrogant, selfish, and corrupt thoughts to take possession of him. Victories attained by right thought can only be attained by watchfulness. Many give way when success is assured, and rapidly fall back into failure. All achievements, whether in the business, intellectual, or spiritual world, are the result of definitely directed thought. They are governed by the same law and are of the same method. The only difference lies in the object of attainment. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly. That is it for chapter 5. from As a Man Thinketh. This is the Library of Awakening. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this short excerpt today in the chapter from one of my most favorite books by James Allen. Highly recommend this book. If you guys want to know where to find it, you can always find it within our private CyberX Discord. You guys can also get it on Amazon. Definitely highly recommended book for anybody that's looking for some really good self-help, self-improvement, self-awareness content and material. As always, many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.